Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess and Bridget's Grove with our first mini ritual for September. And I will resume using earth runes in future videos this month, which is the new oracle card system I am creating for this year. But for this first ritual of September, in this month in which our theme is flow and we are honoring the goddess Danu, I'm just going to use our card of the month, our herb of the month from the Illustrated Herbiary. And then I also thought it would be fun and appropriate this month to use cards from the Rooted Woman Oracle, because Danu is a Celtic goddess and it seemed like it would be fun to continue exploring this deck as September unfolds. And I have to give a shout out to my patron Taryn, who gifted me that deck this year, and I've really been enjoying it. So thanks so much to Taryn for those cards. The cards are by Sharon Blackie. Okay, so our herb for September is burdock. And this one really made me smile to see, because look at that nice cauldron over the fire. And so, as I've referenced several times, we're stepping out of the cauldron and into the flow. Or I guess into the fire, but we're stepping out of the cauldron and into the flow this month. And the reminder from burdock is to tap your resources. Our theme of the month actually last September was ground, and I still see a relationship. Perhaps maybe it doesn't seem obvious, but there's a relationship between grounding and flowing. And so rooting yourself deep, tapping your resources, and then flowing with life's unfolding. So anyway, I was happy to see burdock. Burdock grows in the front yard, actually, where I live. And anyway, so the reminder is to kind of sink your roots into your landscape and tap your resources, which is a helpful reminder. So checking in with Maya's book about burdock. And anyway, what she says is that burdock is a tireless companion. Yes, she sticks with you, because this is actually the source of burrs, like burrs that get stuck in your dog's fur or on your pants when you go for a walk. So she's a tireless companion. She sticks with you and cheers you on when you're running low on steam. Burdock is a nurturer, building you up with gentle sweetness and asking nothing in return. Her tap root runs deep, and she's persistently relentless. Trust me, she says, all will be well. And so the other nice, powerful message of this card is that burdock helps you to find strength when you think you have none, warming you from the inside and nourishing you deeply. So I really feel like we're invited to consider here, as we step out of the cauldron, like, what do we still need to nourish ourselves? What do we need to sustain ourselves? What do we need to support? What do we need to root ourselves into, ground down into, in order to be able to flow with our life's unfolding? So anyway, she's like a hearth fire, offering gentle heat, warm light, and the promise of a home-cooked meal. So a practice suggestion from this book is to reconnect with your inner flame, your own sustenance, by lighting a candle, staring into the flame, and imagining a small spark lighting deep in your core. See the candle's flame mirrored within as a glowing ember, and then breathe gently, letting the inner flame grow with each inhalation and shrink to an ember with each exhalation. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then you might even add a sense of warmth. So feel yourself warming on the inhalation and cooling on the exhalation. And you can start at 1 minute and work up to 10 minutes, knowing that, like burdock, each breath is nourishing you deep within. And one of the quotes and reminders I shared in this month's practice update video was to remember who breathes you and to ground into that. You are breathed by the breath of grace. The breath of the infinite herself breathes you in this moment. And so there's a suggestion here about finding your hearth fire, reminding you that to consider this, and I need to think about this too. We're not always kind to those who love us best and nurture us deeply. It is easy to neglect the friend or loved one who is always present and never demanding. Who do you count on when you're feeling burned out and your soul is malnourished? This person is your hearth fire, but don't take them for granted. Don't take them for granted. She also says once a year the ancient Celts would extinguish their individual hearth fires and relight them from a communal flame. Does your hearth fire need to be tended or relit? Do you have a community from which to light your flame? And how are you tending to the fire of that community as well? She also quotes John O'Donohue from A Journal Echoes as saying, one of the most beautiful gifts in the world is the gift of encouragement. When someone encourages you, that person helps you over a threshold you might otherwise never have crossed on your own. And I've referenced a lot in a lot of my poems and writings and speakings in the last month. I've referenced a lot about being on the at threshold time, at the crossroads, on the threshold. And so it was a nice little point of connection to see that threshold moment referenced there as well, helping us across the threshold. Oops, that's my Rooted Woman Oracle book crashing onto the ground, but that's okay. I'll find my place in it anyway. And the Rooted Woman Oracle is structured with so I was really excited when I drew the card and saw that it was the lake, even though it looks a little ominous, I must say. It looks a little ominous, possibly a little threatening, but I loved the connection to flowing, to water. Danu is a water goddess, and so I liked the connection with water, and I was happy to see that we got a water-based card as our first card in this month. So we received a lake, what lies beneath, and the Rooted Woman Oracle is structured according to this heroine's journey, but rooted in the landscape. So not like the hero's journey where you quest out, but instead a heroine's journey where you root into the land that you live on. You root into where you are and become informed by the lives of your ancestors, by the myths and folk tales, by the things around you, by the beating heart of the land itself. And that's how we travel. That's from which we travel on the heroine's journey. And so she does say the heroine's journey that women need to make today is one which plants us firmly in the wider world in which we belong, grounded and rooted and ready to rise up and protect it. It is an antidote to the swashbuckling action adventure that is the classic hero's journey that is so beloved of Hollywood and blockbuster fiction. It's a post-heroic journey firmly founded in women's ways of being and becoming. So here we are with the lake. What lurks beneath? So like I said, maybe a little bit ominous, but we could also look like burdock at what's beneath us, supporting us, holding us and nurturing us. What can we draw sustenance from, and what lies beneath that perhaps holds answers? So going back to Sharon's book, she says in European myth and folklore, lakes are mysterious, magical, and sometimes ominous places. These lakes could harbor monsters. And the lake card, invites us to confront our own monsters and to explore our shadow side, to remember to know ourselves deeply, including what lies beneath. So the shadow isn't necessarily the quote-unquote dark side, which I don't even like to use the phrase dark side, because why are we associating the dark with somehow negativity or badness? The dark is a nurturing place of holding and enfolding and growth and change and incubation and all those kinds of things. So the shadow isn't quote-unquote bad, but it might represent all those things we've ignored, denied, or cut off from. And so our aim is not to suppress or repress who we are, but to come to know all sides of ourselves, including what lies beneath. So integrating the shadow is to look at those inner demons and acknowledge the darkness within us. Though, like I said, I diverge here from this concept of the darkness within is somehow something that's negative that we've repressed or silenced. The darkness within can be a place of holding, nurturing, change, and incubation and growth. Can be the safe space within from which new things emerge. So I'm gonna shift away from that interpretation and into what's in there, what's waiting down there, that's being incubated and nurtured in the safe, healing, restorative, replenishing, necessary darkness. So going back to Sharon Blackie, she says we need to have inner strength and commitment to question our core beliefs and values, but the rewards are great. So once we dig into or soak into or step into what lies beneath, we can move into a new, authentic, and meaningful stage of life with all of us in our wholeness validated, nurtured, and encouraged. So then I'm going to pop on over to my own Danu Story Goddess Oracle card. Reminder that this card is available for you for free. It's free for everyone this month, along with a Goddess Guidance Club video, and that's available at 30daysofgoddess.com. And so this one is my own compilation packet from the resources that are available. So let's pop on over and see what we got. The affirmation, I unclench my life. And so I'm doing a Step into the Flow series for my Goddess Magic patrons, and I have a whole video about this notion of unclenching our lives or surrendering, like how do we unclench our lives. And so interestingly, hold is the word. So I unclench my life, and I hold space for myself. I trust that I hold what I need within me. I trust that I hold what I need within me. I unclench my life. I trust that I hold what I need within me. And then there's a little brief affirmation in there too. I allow my very life to speak magic, to tell of wholeness, worth, and beauty. And a little prayer and affirmation in one, and practice. Prayer, practice, and affirmation in one. May we claim space to speak and space for silence, space to thrive and space for truth. May we know space to love and space to trust. May we walk with intention. May we create with faith. May we watch ourselves move through fear and into delight. May we watch ourselves move through fear and into delight. And then closing with Danu's prayer, even though I've just shared that recently. Why not share it again? Listen, I am the flowing one. I tell of the wellspring within, the mystery of the rivers, the fruitfulness of the earth. Fertile and flourishing, I teach of the necessity of love, the strength of caring, and the cycles of renewal. Through my hands pass the waters of life and inspiration. So may you root yourself deeply. May you tap into your resources. May you ground into the support beneath you. May you have the courage and the trust to investigate what lies beneath, to sink down and in and see what waits there, what already knows from deep within. And may you move through fear and into delight, allowing your very life to speak magic, to tell of wholeness, worth, and beauty. Thanks so much for being here. Keep living your magic. Bye-bye.